Q4 is the biggest opportunity for Amazon sellers, but for beginners, it can be confusing and overwhelming since it's really easy to make mistakes that can cost you a lot of money. So in this video, I'm going to give you the simplest breakdown of how to execute Q4 correctly so you can take full advantage of it. We're going to run through some of the basic stuff and more advanced stuff to make sure that you guys are executing correctly during Q4 because this is the time of year where you can easily either increase your income by 25, 50%, or depending on your level of selling, sometimes make closer to a full year's worth of money if you can get enough product in. So, first off, we're just going to try to qualify what is exactly a product that you would want to fulfill merchant fulfilled during Q4. And to do that, we're going to just check out what um, if it's eligible or FBM friendly, I guess. Eligible is not really the right word there, but what we'll look at first is you can sometimes tell by just the offers in here, seeing how many merchant fulfilled offers there are, but you also want to make sure that they're actually getting buy box rotation because you can have merchant fulfilled products, and if you're not getting buy box rotation and FBA guys are getting it over you, or just not enough merchant fulfilled are getting it, it's going to be harder to get sales there because people are going to choose prime shipping over waiting for shipping most of the time. During Q4, there is going to be a lot more merchant fulfilled offers. You may see a listing this time of year before Q4 starts that is dominated by FBA people that switches over to being dominated by merchant fulfilled people. But we're going to check that by just coming into data and then buy box statistics here. And what we're looking for is there not to be a check mark here in the FBA one. You can either just sort this by merchant fulfilled first just by clicking it once. If you clicked it the other way, it would go the opposite. But we want to see just how many there are, first of all, and then also when they last won the buy box. Percentage also matters a little bit, but not so much. You just want to make sure that it is getting there recently because maybe these guys just came in. You don't really know unless you look a little bit deeper, but we don't have to look that deep into this. So this would be a good product to merchant fulfill even now and not just during November, the second half, and December all month because we're seeing a lot of 1 days ago here, 2 days, 4 days, six, eight right here. Could also sort by last one, but you're also going to get FBA ones mixed in there with it. And don't worry about the Amazon on here. It's just for the example. So this qualifies as a product that we would want to merchant fulfill. Now let's just figure out how we can actually see if we're still profitable. So I found this product here on Gap, $9.99, 60% off, 125 or more. So in this case, just a little bit of a side note, you can only order 5 of each product at once in one order on Gap. So I could order 5 smalls, 5 mediums, 5 larges, 5 XLs, but I can't order more than 5 of each size at once. So if you're trying to get up to this 125 plus, you're not going to make it off of here because you're just going to get it up to $50 and then with tax if you have it. So we'll need to combine maybe 2.5 products into this order in order to get this code to work. So also on top of that, if we scroll down, we'll see that we've got 20% off here. We've also got our gift cards, 20% off here for Gap. So we've got our $9.99 price minus the 60%, minus the 20%, minus another 20%. So we're doing the exact same process of looking at products and qualifying them price wise, except for one little thing that we're going to do now, as you would normally do for VA products. And the only other difference is that we're not going to go off of this right here because this is currently set if we scroll down in SellerAmp to be an FBA listing, which is including this FBA fulfillment fee right here. It's also including our inbound shipping if we have something inside a SellerAmp. Maybe you also have your prep fee in there. If we flip this switch, it's going to take away all of the stuff that's solely on FBA. So fulfillment fee, inbound shipping, prep fee, like I just said, if we have that in there, which I don't. So when I click this, it does go to 0 here for the fulfillment fee, and now it says FBM. It crossed out all of this stuff that would be associated with FBA. So we can see that our profit on merchant fulfilled is $11. When we do FBA, it's $6. And you're not making this $11. So we're going to have to do another step here, and we're going to have to add in our FBM cost of shipping here. The way that we get that is we're going to go up to the top and we're going to hover over this, and we're going to get a rough guideline of how much this weighs, which it says 5.93 ounces. So basically 6 ounces for this product. Now you are going to have your poly bag on there and your poly mailer for clothing items. Don't throw them into a box, throw them into a poly mailer. Go grab the Q4 prep list. It'll be down in the description below. I also go a lot deeper into that in the other Q4 video that I just recently posted. If you want to go check all that out too. And so I have a rough guideline of costs from my experience doing merchant fulfilled for the last 3 years during sometimes October in my first year, but mainly just November, December for the last 3 years. And this is what a ballpark idea is for those costs here. So it was 6 ounces, maybe seven. So we've got $4 to $5 from my experience on what it would cost. Now it might be cheaper, it might be more expensive depending on where your customers order from. It could go up, it could go down. Personally, I've shipped to somebody in the neighborhood over from me when I do my merchant fulfilled. So it was a lot cheaper on that order. But if you ship out to, if you're on the East Coast, ship out to the West Coast or maybe Midwest area, it might be a little bit more, but that's okay. It all balances out. If you do a closer order and you pay less, and then you do a farther away order and you pay more, just it averages out to be around the same thing there. So we've got our $4 to $5 here, and we're gonna throw our $4 in here, see what it is, and then I always like to check just in case. I'll throw a 5 in here and see. So we've got pretty much the same profit here, maybe a little bit less doing that on the $5 there. If we had 4, we're up profit. Don't worry about that too much because you're not really going to be able to get these in FBA anyway. The warehouses are going to slow down like crazy, and it's just going to take a lot longer. You're going to be able to turn over a lot more units doing merchant fulfilled. So taking that little hit, even if it was a $5 shipping charge, the 20 cent, 22 cent hit right there, not a huge deal. It's going to compound over way more than that if you're doing merchant fulfilled instead of FBA. So always check your high points just in case. Once you sell a couple items of the product, you'll be able to see what it is. If you're going to replan it, maybe price changes a little bit, you'll be able to use your own real costs for this kind of stuff. So that is how you'll qualify the products. Now, once you're done merchant fulfilling, if you go to source this product again and you're going to send it into FBA, if you recognize it as one that you used to sell during this time of year, merchant fulfilling, always come back and flip this switch over, because it happened to me in my first year. I would open up products again, maybe my VAs found them, and I would do the costs and everything. And it would turn out when I flipped the switch back over, maybe I was underneath my criteria, maybe it was a little bit lower than that even. So kind of screwed myself a little bit not doing that. So just don't forget to do that part there. The other part inside of this document here that I want to go over is the shipping options here. So inside of your Amazon account, you're going to have to go in and change your shipping costs for customers. Standard orders, economy orders, always $0. That's where this cost comes in. That's where we're estimating this. And it does apply to the others. But the good thing about this is next day, 2 day, and expedited, you can easily charge $30 per order. Now, this doesn't mean that the customer's shipping cost is going to actually be $30 when you go to buy it. It's most likely not going to be, unless it's maybe a next day or something closer to that, or a 2 day and they're across the country again, like I was explaining before. It could be up close to that. But in my experience, charging these costs, I've always made money, extra profit on these charges here. When it comes to around December 5th or like the first week of December, push these three prices up to $40 to $50 plus $1 per pound. So that's also what this is. So if an order, your product is 3 pounds, you're going to get a $33 shipping charge from the customer. But around that time, up it to $40 to $50. Maybe try 40, see how many orders you get. Up it to 50 if you're getting a lot of them. customers are going to pay this much to be able to get their orders quick enough because Christmas is the biggest time of year for Amazon. And a lot of people just so happen to wait a really long time to order their Christmas gifts. And if they're ordering something the week of Christmas or maybe the week before and they want to guarantee that they're going to get it and get the right product, then they will pay this. So it will make you a lot of extra money doing so. And you can update this inside of your Amazon account. So if you go up to your settings in the top right hand corner in your Seller Central account, where you'd find like your account info and that little drop down, you'll click on shipping settings. It'll be towards the bottom of that little pop up panel. And this is what you're going to see. So you'll just click edit at the top of this page and then you will fill this out. So leave free economy as 00, standard 00. This is where you get into what I was talking about also. Expedited 30, 2 day 30, 1 day, next day 30. Push all of these up 40 to 50 the first week of December after that passes there. Now, the Q4 list that I was mentioning, this is what you can grab in the description below. It's got all the links for all of the prep products that I use personally every single year. And by far the cheapest options that I could find, wouldn't pay more than I needed to. And I've been researching these things for a few years now to try to find the cheapest and best quality options that you can get. The only other things in here are going to be when you are doing merchant fulfilled orders, you're going to have to worry about three different metrics. So it all ties into being able to charge that $30 or $40 for those orders. And one of them, on time delivery rate. So are you actually sending your orders out on time? Because when you get a merchant fulfilled order, next to that order in the row that it shows up on your manage orders page, it's going to tell you what day you have to have it shipped out by. If you wait too long, it might be late and this will be affected. And you need a 93.5% here or above. So depends on how many orders you do, how many late deliveries will bring it underneath this. But if you don't have that many, ship out 10 orders, one of them's late, you're at 90%. You're already below that. Pre fulfillment cancel rate. So, how many orders are you canceling before they get shipped out? This also depends on how many orders you do. You need less than 0.5%. It's not a very big number there. So you need to make sure that you are filling out your stock counts correctly. You definitely have as many products as you are advertising that you do, because when you do merchant filled listings, it's going to ask you to fill in the stock. Amazon's not checking it like they do for FBA orders, scanning the products in. And it's also not their fault if you do something wrong, and they won't cover you like they would cover an FBA order. So you need to make sure of that right there. Valid tracking usage rate above 99%. So again, very small margin on this as well to make errors. This just means that your tracking numbers are showing up correctly and that they're valid. So when you're doing merchant filled orders, always go through Amazon's shipping label provider. It's usually just going to be UPS, USPS, or FedEx sometimes. Usually FedEx is only for those like 2 day, 1 day deliveries there, depending on where the customer is. You always want to buy shipping through Amazon because they do give you protection. It does attribute to this, but also if a customer says that the order was not delivered, they will have to file a safety claim or a claim through Amazon as the customer and say that the package wasn't delivered. They'll get reimbursed. You will be covered. Won't lose that money. If a package is lost in transit, Amazon will not affect your rates here because you used their shipping provider. So always go through them. It does protect you a lot. Now, in the case that maybe the shipping cost is just way too expensive, and it shouldn't be, because that does sometimes happen where you've been doing a lot of orders, they've been $5, $10 shipping costs like you put into your product up here. Maybe one of them says 10 to 15, maybe 20. You don't know why, you can't affect it, you can't change it. Or in my case, a few times it's happened where a customer had ordered two of something and I made the mistake. I only sent them one. And it was my fault. But I can't get another shipping label through Amazon because I already used the one that they provide you for the order, right? So it was either refund the customer, possibly get negative feedback because I didn't fulfill the order correctly, or send it out on my own and pay for a label. So either of those two cases there, you can use this website called Pirate Ship. This is by far the cheapest place to get labels that I know of, that I have used in those situations where I forgot customer's unit, or shipping cost was just too expensive on Amazon. You sign up for a free account, throw in the customer's address, just buy the label through here. When you go into your order for Amazon, you just copy paste the tracking number into the order and it will be synced, and you can have Amazon track it that way. So this is a really good resource to have. Everybody should open an account with them for this case, just in case you need it. Also use it personally. If I ever have to mail anybody something, I use this website outside of Amazon. It's just way cheaper than going directly through UPS or USPS. So make sure you get all this stuff covered, and that way you'll be prepared for rush that is coming. If you guys want direct one-on-one help starting your Amazon business from me right before Q4 starts and the busiest time of year comes in, click the link in the description. Do group calls every single week, one-on-one calls, live sourcing, all that kind of stuff. And you'll even have direct access to ask me any questions any time of day for anything that you need. Don't hold back any information from the people that I help out. And being inside of a group also gives you your own personalized network of Amazon sellers that you can grow with. So if that sounds like something that you guys want to do and take the next step, link in the description to book a call with me and we'll talk about how I can help you out. I do keep this group pretty small though, because I do want it to be more of a private school class versus like a college class, like all of the rest of the gurus that you see online. Don't want it to become very oversaturated. So I do hand select the students myself on who is let into the group. So don't wait on this opportunity before the slots fill up. Also, grab the link down in the description for your own copy of the Q4 prep list that I went over in this video, so that way you can be fully prepared for this time of year. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.